Welcome back to the Chilmark channel. My name is Brian Murphy. I'm a research director here at Chilmark, and I'm going to be talking about data today. Before we get into it, please like this video. Better yet, subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear them. I think most people appreciate that healthcare faces some unique challenges here at the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022. Healthcare costs continue to rise. Currently in the United States, it's on its way to being 20% of GDP with really no sign of slowing. If you look across at the range of things that people have been working on for the last 10, 20, 30 years that aim to address this spiraling costs, value-based care really is probably the most dominant idea in terms of a way to arrest cost growth. Value-based care is being positioned as an alternative to fee-for-service health care. The idea is that you reward providers for delivering high-quality care at a lower cost. In order for value-based health care to be successful, organizations really need to be in a better position to make data-driven decisions. In fact, value-based health care can't be successful without robust analytics. Healthcare, like every other industry, is heavily siloed. Scores or hundreds of different systems of record contain redundant data about you, me, and every other citizen in the United States. So there is a tremendous need to consolidate these multiple duplicative data sources into a coherent whole for analytics. As it turns out, more data is available than ever before. The amount of healthcare data has grown very significantly in the last 15 years, largely as a result of the EHR incentive program, also known as the Meaningful Use program. But there are all kinds of different kinds of data coming online that can contribute to value-based healthcare. Things like social determinants, things like genomic-based tests, external consumer-based data sources. So we find ourselves in a situation where healthcare at this point is literally drowning in data, but still struggles to use it in a meaningful way. How does cloud-native analytics enable value-based healthcare? Data can play a role through the entire life cycle of a value-based contract. For organizations who are contemplating getting involved in value-based healthcare, data plays a role. For organizations who are in the midst of a value-based contract, data and analytics plays a role. For organizations who are taking a longer view, thinking kind of more strategically about value-based healthcare, data can play an incredibly valuable role in understanding their network, the performance of their network, and how they can change that network to succeed over the long term. Before any organization becomes involved in a value-based contract, most of them would like some idea of how likely they are to succeed. So this involves taking an inventory of their network, understanding past performance of different providers and provider organizations in that network. It involves looking at the disease burden of the particular population to understand kind of what the needs are. And this kind of view can also be used to do the kind of planning necessary to understand if any sort of process change is going to be required in order to be successful. For organizations who are involved in a value-based contract, they really need literally up to the moment understanding of how they're doing in terms of cost performance. They need up to the moment understanding of how they're doing in terms of their quality performance. So good analytics based on the most current data available is indispensable for organizations who are trying to be as successful as possible in a contract and be nimble enough to make the necessary changes to course correct if they need to. Longer term, most organizations involved in value-based healthcare are going to want to think a little bit more strategically about this entire topic. It's all well and good to do well in this year's contract. It's well and good to sign a good contract and one that you know that you're going to be successful at. But as organizations think about value-based care eventually overtaking fee-for-service, they're really going to want to understand almost every aspect of both the networks that exist in their catchment area, the patient populations that exist in their catchment area, and really get a good feeling for a good sense of where they can perform best. So what do we mean when we use the term Health Cloud Data Analytics Hub? Simply put, it's this idea of supporting any-to-any data connectivity across a connected healthcare community. It's something that enables people to source data regardless of the organization it comes from, regardless of the application it comes from, regardless of its format, regardless of how often it turns up, normalize that data, transform it in a whole host of different ways, and then making it available to analytics and other applications across that same and probably expanded healthcare community. The Health Cloud Data Analytics Hub includes a lot of different functions and capabilities that really take full advantage of the whole idea of cloud computing. So normalization is obviously a very important function. The idea that data, regardless of how it's expressed, regardless of how it's encoded, can be transformed to make it usable for a variety of different downstream analytics use cases. The idea that data can be enriched with data from either external or other internal sources, internal to the enterprise, is also an important capabilities. Because it's cloud, there's a unique opportunity to introduce orchestration to the process that really kind of cements this idea of any-to-any data connectivity. What are some of the benefits of the Health Cloud Data Analytics Hub? Innovation is an important one. Organizations are going to need to experiment with new care models, new care pathways, different administrative processes in order to succeed long-term at value-based healthcare. Value is an important benefit. Healthcare enterprises are really going to be in a position to reduce their IT infrastructure burden. They're going to be able to focus more on their healthcare mission and less on their IT mission. Speed is another important benefit. Developers and integrators are in a great position to do things far more quickly, these kinds of cloud-native capabilities, than they have with conventional approaches. End users are also in a position to do more with their data than they would have been with conventional approaches. And lastly, usability is also an important benefit here. As we all know, clinician burden is a serious problem in healthcare, and I would argue it's more generalizable than just clinicians. It's virtually every user in healthcare is struggling with this cognitive load. The capabilities that we've been talking about here are going to go a long way towards delivering better analytics to a much larger population of end users. I'd like to thank Actian for sponsoring these videos. If you want more information about the things that they do, please go to their website. And thank you very much for watching.
For more on the Actian Healthcare Data Analytics Hub, or to get started with a live demo or free trial today, go to actian.com/solutions/healthcare analytics.